What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kales, aka Grow the Boy, back for another eventful day. Today, we're gonna be having story times with Kales. Yes, story times. Old stories in my past or about my career. We're about to get lit up in here. I'm gonna start things off right. Gotta have me a pre-roll. Gotta have me a J rolled up. I am over 21. I live in a legal state of DC where you can consume cannabis. So, other than that, let's get right into my barbering career. So, everyone don't know, if you don't know, I'm a barber. I've been cutting for about like 7 years now. And it's just been an amazing experience of what I've seen over the years, what I've accomplished over the years. And it's just been like a mind-blowing career that I've chosen. Like growing up, I was the kid that was like, oh, I want to work for the government. I like computers, this, that. Like, but as you get older, things change. When I got to like college, like I was undecided on what I wanted to do. Like I didn't know if I wanted to still deal with computers or if I just wanted to get like an associate's. And so I spent 2 years in college, still undecided. And after that, I just kind of was just like, you know what? It's not for me. School is definitely not for me. Um, some people who school is for, I commend you. Like long hours, homework, endless papers. Like my attention span is probably like this short when it comes to schoolwork. Take you back to when it all started. I started barbering school in 2013. I had my best friend take me up to the school, met with the staff up there, just to see how the school was. Cause one of my good boys, Doobie, the first shop I used to work at with my cousin Big, went to barbering school, and he was telling me about it. He said it was a good school, it's school. So I was like, all right, because at the time I was doing tattoos in my cousin's shop. Yeah, I used to do tattoos too, but not to like the full extent. I was just like a basic tattoo artist, like do the outline, maybe do a little shading. But yeah, so he told me about the school, so I went up there and everything. So same day, filled out the paperwork, did the financial aid, got approved instantly. I was like, bet, about to start my barber career. So my cousin took me to the warehouse, to the beauty warehouse where all the professionals get their stuff. Only professionals just can go in there, or if you have a license, you can go in there and buy like certain equipment and things like that. So I went there. He got me a combo set, got me a clippers and trimmer combo set. I tell you, that was the starting of my barber career. So I mean, yeah, didn't know how to like do fades or anything like that. So my cousin was just like, man, I'm gonna send some people to you on Tuesdays because he had $5 Tuesdays at his shop where you just come in, you get an all even haircut, like no fade, just straight, like one and a half against or with the grain, and a shape up, $5, real quick. Like you can get somebody out in like 10 minutes. First day, I was a little nervous because I didn't have a license. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I had some knowledge of what I was doing because I used to cut my own hair in the bathroom or cut my little brother hair. But it wasn't like no professional cutting. It wasn't like I can like fade you up real nice and put all the designs of hair. Like nah, it was just like a simple like I had a mohawk and I basically like just cut the sides short and I left like this much of a mohawk on my head, and I thought it was the flyest, coolest shit ever. Then my little brother had the same way. I wish I had some pictures. I put them things up there so I can show y'all what his mohawk used to look like. Maybe I'll find it somewhere, digging down in my photos somewhere. Yeah, so I used to do like little things like that. So when I got to a shop and I was cutting hair, it was just like, damn, like I'm really about to start making some money. In the beginning of your career, people don't tell you certain things, it's more kind of like they'll tell you a little bit and then you just pretty much have to like go from your own from there. So it's just like, all right, cool. I was like, all right. Got my equipment and everything from the store. Got me neck strips and things like that. Things that I needed, like he helped me get. Like I had the money to get my own clippers, but he supplied me with all the other stuff that I needed to have on my station. Like a like a few weeks later, I got accepted into the school. I had a start date, had orientation and everything. Went to orientation. Orientation was cool. Like met the teachers, like everybody in there. Like I'm gonna tell you this one thing right here. The school was in Montgomery County, out in Rockville. Out there, there's a different class of people. Like when you think of Rockville, you think of like Bowie area, like the nice part of Bowie. And it's just like when you got to that school, it was just like I thought I was in the hood. Cause I was like, damn, I was like, this school ratchet as shit. That school had some issues, like big issues. So, get there, just minding my own business, I go into the freshman class. Granted, the class had already started. So, cause we were still like getting all our stuff. Like the school supplied you with like clippers, trimmers, mannequin heads. Like you had a big ass duffel bag. I can't imagine. Like it was a rolling bag basically. And like the first day, we got all our stuff, and I had to haul that shit on a train back home. I'm just like, bruh. I'm like, I live across town. But at the time, it was basically like you live across town and it's like, got this big ass bag on you. You don't know what's in it. People like eyeballing you, like, oh, fuck, Slim got in the bag over you. I'm like, go take that. We had to wear a uniform, basically, it was like all black. So obviously, nobody was like, all right, let's wear take your stuff. Yeah, so next day, so we asking the teachers and things like that, like, oh, well, do we need to bring our bags in, for hair cutting? They're like, no, freshmen don't cut hair their first time around. You don't get to cut hair until like your junior year. The barbering program was a 10-month program, so it was basically like freshman, junior, senior. There was no sophomore. There was no next level. So it was like you're a freshman, you come in there, you learn the book work. When you get to your junior level, you learn the book work, but you get to be put on the floor of the school where we had like two sides. We had a barber side, we had a cosmetology side. And on the junior level, people come in for haircuts. One thing about this school, I tell you, it did not have any customers at all. I think because the school was just so ratchet. It was ratchet. I'm just gonna say that it was ratchet. So with that, so like we didn't have a lot of like people coming in for like haircuts, or like the women though, they did have like a lot of older people who came in for haircuts. We did have like a home, like an old folks home that came through. They brought people there. It was like older people. Like some people didn't really want to cut their hair because they're like, man, I ain't trying to cut nobody's hair, man. I ain't trying to cut no old man hair. They got all that stuff in the hair. Granted, I was like that too in the beginning, because I was like, yeah, I don't know what the hell is all this stuff in the hair. Like we still learning like disorders and like all this grimy, gokey stuff in your hair. So it's just like whatever. When I started, I had like I want to say like a mental breakdown, because the school was so uncoordinated. Like they really needed like a whole brand new staff. When I say a whole brand new staff, a whole brand new staff. Like the school was out of control. I remember reading in the handbook, it said, if you are absent from school more than basically a week without a doctor's notice or anything of that nature that can like excuse you from school, you got basically like put out. All your financial aids just like went out the window. Like my first week, I'll say like the first 5 days I stopped going. Why did I stop going? Like I said, it was ratchet. It was out of control. Like we had a teacher, then we didn't have a teacher. We had a substitute teacher, but we didn't have a main teacher. So our substitute teacher was the juniors teacher, but she had to come downstairs to teach us while she has a whole class upstairs that she has to teach. And I was just like, that's confusing as fuck. And so I was just like, all right, whatever. Eventually, we got another teacher. You know, he was supposed to be our teacher. Probably like the next week, this motherfucker, he quit. Why did he quit? You may ask. A student punched him in the face, knocking him, giving him noodle legs, and just utterly, like, I was confused. Like, I wasn't there, so I didn't see it. But when I came back from those 5 days that I stopped going, because I was just kind of over at that point, I got back, they were like, yo, you missed it. Yo, the teacher got knocked out. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who did it? They was like, oh, one of the students did it. And I was like, did he get expelled? They was like, nah, once they knocked him out, he ran. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the hell kind of school is this? I was like, so do I gotta watch my back because people, motherfuckers in here angry? Like, what? So after that week, like, I stopped showing up for another 5 days. So